But many of the things that people do, many of these distributed control activities people have been doing with Raspberry Pi since the early days, for the last 12 years, are in one way or another, they have an AI feel to them. We actually launched our first-party AI product last Tuesday by coincidence, the AI Hat, which adds 13 trillion operations for $70, adds 13 trillion operations per second of inference performance to the Raspberry Pi platform. So really the goal is make products that do AI well themselves, and then have good partnerships with third parties who can bring acceleration to the platform for that relatively small number of very high-end applications that need it.
And is that really where the differentiator is versus when you look at the large PC makers? You look at Microsoft talking about Copilot and all these other companies as well?
Yeah, so it's really about, as I say, the story of the Raspberry Pi, whether you're talking about the core platform or whether you're talking about some of these accessories and accelerators, it's all about price performance. It's all about price performance, about accessibility, availability, making it easy to connect some of these amazing new capabilities that are developed in the world of AI to actual applications, because there is still this little air gap. And I think a lot of the work that we've learned to do at Raspberry Pi about developer outreach is going to help to close that gap over the next few years.
The semiconductors are also a key part of your strategy. As many will look at the semiconductors you're designing and producing, say, well, these are older semiconductors. They're not the 3 nanometer, 2 nanometer chips that the leading edge consumer electronics players are making right now. So what is the strategy in the semiconductor market for yourselves?
Yeah, so semiconductors for us, I guess at the moment it's a supporting act for our electronic business. We build semiconductors because they allow us to build better electronic products. We do also sell some of those semiconductors themselves. This might actually be the year that we sell more, although the ASPs of these are 50-cent chips compared to $50 boards. But in terms of unit sales, this might be the year, maybe, that we cross over from doing more chips than we do boards. But primarily it's the supporting act. You talk about process node, you talk about 3 nanometers. The chips that we're producing today are 40 nanometers, so probably a decade behind. But what we've always tried to do is we've tried to find points of leverage. The silicon we make it adds critical capabilities to the platform, and it's achievable using some of these older process nodes, which are more addressable by the sort of sized engineering team we've built.
But are you looking to do more advanced process nodes at this point?
I suspect over time, like everybody in semiconductors, I suspect over time you'll move down process node. I mean, I think it might be a little while before we're building 3 nanometer chips like Apple, but obviously, like everybody, we look down node over time.
I looked at sort of again the material you put out around this IPO, international growth, a key part as well of what you're focusing on. India and China, 2 countries you picked out as where you see growth opportunities there. How do you plan to grow in these areas where there are already sort of low-cost offerings in place? Yeah, I mean, I think while there are low-cost offerings, certainly in China you will find low-cost offerings, often products with Pi at the end of their names, different fruits and Pi at the end of their names. I think when you sit down in front of them, you do appreciate, you can feel the engineering effort, particularly the software engineering effort that's gone into the platform. So I think we've never struggled to sell in China against some of those. India probably a little bit more nascent, a little bit more of a nascent market for us. Somewhere where I think we're very focused on building out our channel. And really that's the story almost everywhere. We only have a handful of countries, I think, today where we have the channel of our dreams, where we have the fully built out channel. Sometimes we look at Germany as that example of a country where we have the mom and pop resellers, we have the globals, the Mausers, DigiKeys, Avnets, and then we also have this middle tier. These in the case of Germany, guys like Astridis, Reichelt, and it's probably that middle tier that we're looking to roll out, not just in India, but also in quite a lot of European countries. And Eben, just around the China market in particular, technology has very much been caught up in the geopolitics of the world as well. You've seen the US and other countries try to hamper China's access to technology. Are you worried about Raspberry Pi getting caught up in any of this?
I don't think so. I mean, I think we're a little off to the side of one, to some extent, because of some of the process node topics you mentioned. We're a little bit off to the side of some of the kind of heat and light about Chinese access to extremely advanced semiconductor manufacturing capability.